The movie saves money by just reusing the opening aerial footage from the first Beetlejuice movie. Where the f*** does Willem Dafoe find the time to be in every movie made? Fictional spooky Connecticut looks more like real spooky Vermont.
The living, the dead, can they coexist?
Well, the living barely coexist with the living at this point, and that would be a lower hurdle to get over, so the sin is math. Sudden Beetlejuice is an audience member in this crossing over knockoff.
I need 5, make it happen.
Okay, everybody, that's lunch!
Lunch? He asked for 5! Lunch is at least, well, depending on the set and whether it's a union production, it varies, but even in the worst cases, lunch is at least 15 minutes and not 5.
It's like we got the same stupid little heart.
Why would your shared heart of destined love be stupid?
No. You don't need these.
Denying anxious people their meds. This guy went from sober sponsor to drug dealer in about 20 seconds, and it is shocking. Also, dry swallowing trash can pills. Wait, did the events of the first movie make them all famous, and they're all trying to capitalize on that fame?
I was not getting enough nourishment from the sculpture alone.
Man shall not live on sculpture alone, but on food, idiot. At Matt44.bluesky.social.
I think I've cried all the water out of my body.
Overcomplicated ways of saying you're dehydrated.
He's divorcing you? What a horrible thought. No, he's dead.
Har har, divorce is more horrible than being widowed because, wait, what exactly is the joke here again? Why is this flashback in this horrid AI claymation format? Is it because the original actor did terrible crimes? Because if so, just don't do a flashback.
He flew halfway around the world to watch birds do it on a beach, and it killed him.
You literally just explained that it was the shark that killed him. This guy's death isn't going to matter to the plot, but we need to know he is dead, and that's the least important thing. In the first movie, when the main couple died, they woke up at home. In this movie, this French performance artist dies and goes straight to the hallway where the agents are. He even skipped the waiting room. And the waiting room was a big deal, and it was even where Beetlejuice himself ended up at the end of the film. Discount Frank Reynolds. Let me see if I have this. A janitor in the Afterlife building somehow is shocked by his buffing machine, which then also shocks some nearby boxes, which start rattling and falling like they've touched a fucking Allspark. What in the what? Dolores will fall out of these boxes and staple herself back together because Tim Burton has a thing for broken women, but only wants to kinda sorta fix them. Porting over a Sally-esque character from The Nightmare Before Christmas to be played by someone other than Catherine O'Hara. I'm still confused. She's clearly evil, so someone at some point defeated her, cut her life into pieces, and as some kind of last resort, put each piece in a box by itself, and then stored all the boxes together in a random afterworld basement, and I guess they thought that would be enough? They've tried harder in Green Lantern when they buried Parallax under some dirt.
Where is Beetlejuice?
Not giving a man a chance to answer the question before you suck him dry. Why wouldn't the dorm rooms in this prep school have locks? Shit, I had a key for my room at fucking church camp. Oh my god, Tap of the Bowers, July 12th, let's fucking go! I don't know how long she was gone, but it was long enough for the mean girls to rig a swinging ghost trap in her room, and I am alarmed she left her laptop open that entire time she was gone. Those bully girls could have done so much worse than a ghost trap with full access to her laptop.
We need to unpack the art of sorrow.
Then you should call my college ex-girlfriend because that girl had perfected the art of sorrow. Sewing it, at least. How in the f*** did Beetlejuice get appointed manager of this call center?
Où je suis?
Oh, I was wondering what happened to the French guy, said no American ever. His head was off just now, and now it's back on. Question, has Tim Burton learned any new tricks in the last 20 years? WB doesn't have the balls to make a Frank Hardballer movie.
She gets her hands on you and you're dead. There's no coming back from that, Mr. Juice.
Multiplying your deads because you couldn't think of a better way for a movie about the afterlife to actually have stakes.
Daylight come and we want to go.
Now we have a choir singing Banana Boat because it was featured in an iconic scene from the first movie, not because Charles just loves Harry Belafonte. They made his headstone a shark's fin? I realize that's funny for the audience, but does that track? Yeah, the wife is a weirdo hippie priestess, but everyone else actually loved the guy, right? Also, why are they using an actual image of Jeffrey Jones on the glass headstone but had to resort to CGI claymation for the flashback earlier? Letting Jeffrey Jones anywhere near a children's choir. Also, where is this fucking children's choir even from? Do priests usually also bring children's choirs when they are asked to do funerals? How do they get here? Did they all ride on a bus with the priest? And were there any other adults present?
I haven't been to a funeral since Dad's.
I love that we get a flashback, death, and funeral for the character played by a sex crime guy, but we gloss completely over this new character's father's life and death.
It's ironic, isn't it? You can apparently see any random ghost for your shitty TV show, but the one ghost that actually matters to me you can't see at all.
I wouldn't call it ironic. I'd call it plot convenient.
We are close!
Then lock the door, asshole. Look, I figure I'm gonna get some flack for this because when she sucks out their souls, I mean, they die and shit. And then their bones disappear and their bodies shrivel up into teddy bear size and like, I'd still let her do this to me, man. I can't lie. It's fucking sexy. She walks through the moving wall of plastic dry clean clothes, plucks the nearest one, and it's gonna be a dress that fits her perfectly. And sometimes I hate how lazy movies have become. Wait, no. It's all the time that I hate that. All the time. Beetlejuice's backstory as a grave robber is supposedly necessary to understand the new villain, but it's a backstory I never asked for. It's just as worthy of a Parks and Rec filibuster rant as Phantom Menace ever was.
Dal momento in cui ho guardato I suoi occhi maledetti, sono rimasto stregato.
Right, sure, but what did she see in you? You simply cannot stand this close to this large a fire. Either that's a fake fire, or it's forced perspective. Or else Michael Keaton was sweating his ass off in long johns right next to a raging fire just so this shot composition could exist. This story glosses over the details, but heavily implies that Beetlejuice simply chopped up his evil wife with little to no resistance. Who did these f***os find to build a custom black see-through entire house covering for this house? I'm fine with some things being left to the viewer's imagination, but the line must be drawn here! This movie is basically worshipping Jeffrey Jones, convicted child porn material haver. Just what the f*** were they thinking here?
If you ever need to process any of your emotions, I'm here for you.
Run away, Astrid!
I wrote a poem for your grandpa.
How does it go?
Movie wants me to believe Lydia could be conned by someone who would attempt this lie without at least having a Hallmark quote at the ready.
Sample for my hubby's microbrewery.
Is that for people with tiny houses?
You can get the f*** out of here with acting like anyone in the U.S. of alcoholics doesn't know what a microbrewery is.
Why is your house covered in black fabric?
Thank you, future Sins intern little girl. Thank you.
Everyone wants a piece of the original ghost house.
But why? I saw in the real world a headline this week that the owners of the Breaking Bad house, which is worth $300,000 to $500,000 in reality, are trying to sell it for $4 million, which is patently hilarious and yet still might work. But my point is that a ghost house being this hot a property when we have yet to see a single ghost inside or from that house this entire sequel is dubious at best. Also, until we see Alec Baldwin or Gina Davis, I'm going to assume all the ghost house rumors about this property and the family are based on fabricated lies spread like wildfire among a really bored public. How else does this place become known as the ghost house if there is never any proof about the actual ghosts who, again, sorry to repeat, were Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis?
Will you marry me on Halloween?
Asking for not only marriage, but marriage on a super specific date. Imagine if she's not as goth as you think and she only wears a lot of black because she likes the Raiders. Ha! Liking the Raiders. After being coerced in public, Lydia agrees to marry the obviously parasitic suitor. There is perhaps no better physical activity after one's mother pulls a full Melania than a vigorous bike ride. Okay, but you gotta either ride or walk that bike back up that fucking hill. Covered bridge, coffee shop, foliage, Connecticut? The Winter River Fire Department has a pumpkin setup that has way too many pumpkins for a regular Halloween display, but way too few pumpkins to suggest a pumpkin sale is going on. Holy most contrived meet cute in the history of film, Batman.
Olive, what are you reading?
She says this instead of, I probably have some broken bones. What are you reading? Of fucking course he's reading Dostoevsky, because it would just be too relatable if he was reading Calvin and Hobbes or the novelization of Jupiter Ascending.
Pain and suffering are always inevitable.
That's a strange way to say no movie is without sin.
But my mom grew up here. That old house on the hill.
Jesus, everything in this town is visible from everywhere else in this town.
I only believe in things that I could see. No science.
I have some really bad news for Astrid regarding science things like wind and gravity.
Witness confirmed our suspect as the soul sucker from Lost and Found.
This movie has started to feel more and more like a clone of Cool World, and I can't tell you how much that is not a compliment. There he is again, the actor who played Charles Dietz, who went on to get arrested for possession of sexually criminal images. Say, why are we saying so much Jeffrey Jones? Make this make sense.
Adam and Barbara Maitland. They're not here anymore. We found a loophole and they moved on.
Oh, I see. That explains everything. Holy shit, the model town survived all this time?
I thought I lost those.
These pictures of Richard were impossible to find in a box clearly labeled Richard that it took Astrid a whole second to locate from across the room.
Oh my god, it's you. I thought a moose was about to attack me.
From inside the house? I know your character is here to say outrageous things, but goddamn.
Where's the obnoxious little goth girl who tormented me all those years ago?
Was she really a goth girl? Or was she just raised in a way that made goth the only real outlet for her personal expression?
Handbook for the recently deceased.
Yeah, I got that at a yard sale in town.
What a coincidence!
What happened?
A boat accident. Yeah, they searched the Amazon for a week and they never found his body.
Okay, so anytime a film tells you someone's body was never found, yeah, that person's gonna show up at some point.
Tomorrow's Halloween.
I know. Used to be my favorite holiday because my dad, he would go all out.
I think we've established the fact that she loves her dad and misses her dad and wants to find her dad. God damn. How can a reasonably short movie overhammer a plot point this much?
What's up with these creepy birds?
Bird watching was my dad's passion.
Understood, but the question remains, what's up with these creepy birds?
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
What a dick. Also, I'd give all the sins back if, instead of Beetlejuice, Candyman showed up. This shit is grosser than anything in The Exorcist. God damn. Mike Myers called to let you know the Mini-Me thing was already played out 20 years ago. This bit where Beetlejuice lip syncs right here waiting left me waiting for it to become funny.
How did you have time to meet a boy?
You had time to get married.
Engaged. She had time to get engaged. She isn't married yet, and are you even paying attention in school? Thinking chains on the attic door will stop Beetlejuice. I hate how love works in the movies, man. This is the second time they spent any time together, and she's been here 50 seconds, and they're in love and making out. It's just a lovely idea that makes no fucking sense in the real world. And yes, I know one-night stands happen, but this is not that. They are in love, and it was instant. I hate it. Goodbye. Supernatural floating because of love cliche.
You're a ghost.
Dun, dun, dun. Actually, I stopped caring a while ago.
My mom was telling the truth. Shh.
We all face this moment, though. For most of us, it isn't about ghosts being real so much as it's about how important it is to brush our teeth and shit.
It's all in this book.
The facts, according to religion, cults, Scientology, religion. I'm tempted to take a sin off for how her eye makeup here echoes Beetlejuice's eyes, but I'm too bored.
I'm sure she'll give you a million reasons to stay away.
Because you are evil! God, are we just painting by numbers at all the major studios nowadays?
We read nothing Disney.
The CinemaSins version of Dry January somehow makes it into the script.
I'm going as
Reverse mortgage, which is mortgage spelled backwards.
This is mirrored, not backward.
Jeremy Fraser.
I didn't get his last name.
Oh no, I can't be him.
Because he's dead, right?
But Jeremy Fraser was bad news.
And he's dead, right?
23 years ago, he murdered his parents.
Then he died, right?
The cops found him hiding in his treehouse.
And they shot him, right?
When they tried to get him out, he fell, broke his neck, died instantly.
Wow, what a loser.
And what do? We just walk through?
The power of boners convinces Astrid it's a good idea to follow Ghost Boy into the afterlife.
Demundo, Vivorium, Audio, and Intertum.
It's 2024. If we're not using Google Translate to vet our Book of the Dead incantations, are we even serious people? It appears that scenery is the only 7-letter English word with E-N-E precisely in the middle, flanked by 2 letters on each side. Would the comment section kindly double-check that for me? This guy here missing a head and a triangular portion of his torso? That's Charles. This movie simply cannot avoid propping up Charles, the character played by the sex-offending actor Jeffrey Jones. They built him into almost every aspect of this movie, and it's really questionable to me.
Kings of commerce, knights of Nasdaq, deem him worthy to enter the gates of your realm.
Movie suggesting that the afterlife is basically late-stage capitalism is a level of realness that I'm not ready to confront.
I, your surviving queen, proudly take up the mantle of your...
All this proves is the movie has seen Babylon and that it has no shame. Also, there is no snake venom that works this quickly, but enjoy the gag of her falling down instantly.
I'll marry you if you help me save my daughter.
So now we're right back where we were in the first movie, with Beetle leveraging his powers for Lydia's hand in marriage. Fucking sigh.
I need a hard target search for 2 suspects.
Don't start a Samuel Gerard from The Fugitive if you can't finish a Samuel Gerard from The Fugitive. The reveal that he's using cue cards should be hilarious. The problem is that it comes 70 minutes after a true slog.
Remember the chant that I got you to recite? You agreed to swap your life for mine.
I told you it was evil, but also, this is why you go on more than one date with the person before you recite a foreign language incantation simply because they tell you to. Astrid really dropped the ball here.
She's got a seat on the soul train.
One more thing, Carl. We got a train that carries souls. What should we call it? Soul train? My God, he's done it again. I almost said something stupid like we should subvert it conceptually. That was a close one.
Get this stamped first. Window 11. The transfer isn't permanent till then.
Nothing in these movies is permanent.
Dad?
Astrid?
Dad?
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
We go to the little boy's room first.
This is some Scooby-Doo shit right here. This table is weird. There's a carton of, I think, milk. Then there's a syrup dispenser filled with, well, I think that's milk as well. Then we have a white container with an orange top that I assume is orange juice, but could honestly be literally anything. And then there's a mustard dispenser, salt, pepper, and napkins. I'm sure the conversation will matter more, but there's a lot to unpack just from the table contents. Given the logic on display here with Richard's death, you'd think Charles would also have a shark attached to his upper body. Cutting in line.
Well, you know what? My husband's here. Charles Dietz.
God damn it! Oh yeah, remember how there's an angry, hot, dead lady who stapled herself together who's looking for Beetlejuice? Yeah, no, I forgot about it too. But it's apparently real. Anyway, she's back, and I guess it's scary again now? There's no need for a train to the fires of damnation if you've got a hatch. This face stretching looks more fake than the face stretching they did 36 years ago. A following up to the iconic banana boat dance scene from the first movie with this MacArthur Park dance scene that Gen Z will have forgotten by the time they figure out who Richard Harris is. But also, did they have to do the whole fucking song?
What the f?
Leaping your fucks.
I'm back.
It's like they had a story brainstorming session and didn't throw out any of the ideas. He marries the daughter's daughter. No, he marries the original daughter. No, there's an old wife hell-bent on revenge. Wait, it's an homage to Jeffrey Jones. Movie Yada Yada is the third step we saw in the instructions when the actual summoning of the sandworm takes place. Man, this movie is even ending the same way as the original. They had no new story to tell here, people.
According to that book, that contract is null and void.
You looked at it briefly to learn how to defeat Staple Lady. How the f*** did you memorize the whole thing? She Violet Beauregarded him.
I've spent so much time talking to the dead. It's time I started living.
This is some of the blandest dialogue ever written. Why are we doing this? Oh, it's all a dream and she's gonna give birth to Beetlejuice and it won't be shocking or funny. 100 sins, get me the f*** out of here.
My brain is like oatmeal.
My name is Lydia Dietz, and welcome to
the Bone Zone.
Where is Beetlejuice?
Can you stop being a freak for like 1 second?
I'm freaky.
Your Moss Isley freakis has utterly harshed my Arakeen spice buzz.
You're my boy, Blue! I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
As we stand here, surrounded by death, let us all make a commitment to choose life.
Choose a job. Choose a career. Choose a family. Choose a fucking big television.
I only believe in things that I could see. No science.
F*** you, science.
Why a cape? Who wears a cape?
Plateau, Barata, avenge me! You are my number one guy.
Who are all these people?
There's just a couple of influencers. Nobody under 5 million followers. And I think we have a Netflix executive in there.
A few moments later.